Step number 5, build belief. It's hard for me to say that any one part of this is the most important. If one doesn't have a proper understanding of why, then it's so easy to have day after day go by and not act upon that why. If we don't place an appropriate initial order that includes promotional volume, we'll have a flat promotion volume, a flat promotion line, and the result of that flat promotion line will be a business that doesn't grow. If we fail to have a proper auto-ship foundation, there will be no ability to separate ourselves from the generation of income. If it ever separate ourselves, our personal activity, from the generation of income. If we fail to have the proper tools, then we'll have a business that is being developed or failed to develop based upon the strength of our personality, not based upon a replicating process. It's hard for me to say that any one part of it is important. It's kind of an all or none deal. I remember so many years ago when I was trying so hard to get the key in the lock, and I just couldn't do it. Just flailing and struggling and floundering. As it works out, the gentleman that's helping me today in our recording, his name is Nate, but the mentor, the coach that I was looking to years ago to help me build the business, his name was Nate also. And Nate said, "Randy, your problem is that you're addressing this like a buffet." It's not a buffet. It's a prefix meal. You can't choose to do a little of this and a little of that and hope to have a positive outcome. There is a proven and predictable pattern of activities, and if you do it all the way that we propose it, I'm willing to tell you that you'll have success. If you do what you're doing, if you treat it like a buffet, you pick a little of this and a little of that. Oh no, I don't like the spinach. Folks, some of what I propose to you might be spinach, and you might not like spinach. Guess what? If you don't do it all, then I'm not willing to predict a positive outcome. If you're willing to do it all, then I am. Step number 5, I said it's hard to imagine any one part being more important than the rest. I know now why it was so hard for Nathan all those years ago when I said, "Nathan, what's the one skill that's most important?" And he wouldn't let me paint him into that corner, because you can know how to invite, but if you don't know how to present, so what? You can know how to invite, but if you haven't got a candidate list to draw from, so what? It's kind of the way I feel now about belief. All these things that I've talked about, until and unless you have developed the discipline to engage in belief-building activities, unless your belief bucket is constantly full. And when someone tells me, "Oh, Randy, I just don't know about this network marketing industry. I just don't know about this community commerce." So, well, I know you don't. That's why I'm telling you. I do. I know the fundamental principles which govern this industry are superior to those that govern conventional business. I know it. This is not something I'm hoping for. It's not something I want to be true. It's something that I know is true. That's after years and years and years and years of proper belief-building activities. What have you done in the last 30 days to make sure that your belief bucket is full as it relates to this network marketing industry of ours? If your belief is wavering, tell me the truth. When did you last watch The Evolution of Network Marketing? Have you watched it twice this month? Have you watched it 5 times this month? If you've watched The Evolution of Network Marketing 90 times in the last year, I can almost promise you that you have an unshakable belief and confidence in what the principles are that govern this industry, and you understand how and why it's good. And so you see, if your belief is not where it should be, then the problem is where? Oh no, the problem is you. I remember when I was struggling so much in the business, and I struggled many times. There came a time when Nathan said, "Randy, you need to understand the problem's not our industry and the problem's not our company, the problem is you." I didn't want to hear that, and I wasn't very well developed in my character at that point in time, so I pushed back pretty hard, but Nathan was right. I wasn't doing those simple things that made it possible for me to succeed. At step number 5, what actions have you taken over the course of the last 90 days to ensure that your belief bucket is always full as it relates to network marketing? If your belief bucket is not full, if you can't, by the way, here's a simple way for you to check the quality of your belief. Go to your candidate list. When you look at the candidate list, is it large or small? A small candidate list is an absolute proven indicator of low levels of belief about our industry. That's the truth. If your candidate list is small, you have low belief about our industry. Look at it another way. Are most of the people on that candidate list people who have had greater or lesser life's successes up until now than you? Let's say I'm just drawing a number out of the air. It doesn't matter what the number is, but let's say that over the course of the last 5 years, prior to getting involved in our company, that the average income you earned was $70,000. Take a look at the people on your candidate list. Are most of them people whose average annual income you would guess is lower than yours or higher? If most of the people on that list have an income lower than what your experience has been, that is an absolute indicator, 100% chance that your belief is low. That which is measured can be improved. I love the simple exercise of glancing at a candidate list. By glancing at a candidate list, we can quantify and identify what is your belief. What is your belief in the industry? Easiest way that I can tell you to have belief in the industry is to review the evolution of network marketing again and again and again and again and again and again and again. The second way that I would like to see you build belief is to build belief in the remarkable company that is MonaVie. There are a variety of ways to do that. When is the last time you watched a Black Diamond documentary? I would suggest that until such time as you're earning what you must, not what you want, but until such time as you're earning what you must, I propose that you watch at least one Black Diamond documentary per week. One time per week, watch a Black Diamond documentary. And there you will find a host of individuals, personalities, and life experiences who are accomplishing what you want to accomplish. They're accomplishing more than you must. They're accomplishing what you want to accomplish. It's a fantastic way to make sure that your belief is heading the right direction. And by the way, your belief will never stay still. It will go forward or it will go backwards every day. What is your belief in the MonaVie product line? That is evidenced by the size of your auto ship. That is evidenced in the amount of your personal consumption. I am among the most voluminous consumers of the MonaVie product line. I don't just like it, I love it. And I consume a lot of it. What about you? What is your daily consumption like? What are your consumption habits like as it relates to the MonaVie product? Let me ask you another question. If everyone in your MonaVie organization consumed the amount of MonaVie that you consume, would you be happy, or would you like to see a larger consumption? If you want your belief to go up, let your consumption go up. Your belief will soar. Why? Because the products are good. Not just good, I believe they're very, very, very good. In my case, they're great. They do things for me that I wouldn't want to be without. What is your belief in the MonaVie product offering? What is your belief in our industry? What is your belief in the MonaVie company? What are you doing about it on a daily and weekly basis to be at a high? And now here's the big one. What's your belief in you? In the Getting Started program, I didn't talk too much about character development. Remember a few moments ago, I said, Nathan, when I approached him whining, which was my norm, he said, Randy, the problem's not our company and the problem's not our industry. The problem is you. And he told me there were 4 skills that I needed to develop. And those 4 skills, he said, were to learn how to create and maintain a candidate list, to learn how to invite, to learn how to present the business in an eminently replicatable way, and to learn how to follow up appropriately and get new members started. So after about a 7-month period where I was accomplishing next to nothing, I went and I complained, and Nathan said, Randy, don't complain to me. You have no right to complain. You have not done that which is required to develop those 4 simple skills. The problem is you. And so I went back at task, and this time my task was not to enroll people. I reframed the whole discussion. No longer was I trying to sponsor people. Now instead I was trying to develop those skills. I did that which was required to develop those skills. And sure enough, my business started to grow and my income began to grow with it. And it grew fairly steeply. And then there came a time when it stopped growing, it started getting smaller. And so of course I went back to Nathan and I complained again. And I said, Nathan, this doesn't work. I've got these skills. And he said, yeah, Randy, you've got these skills. But besides having these skills, I'll tell you what else you have. You're basically a walking character defect. He said, you're arrogant, you're unforgiving, you are obnoxious, you're often drunk, your behavior around the women in our business is absolutely atrocious. He said, sure, you've got these skills, but no one wants to be in association with you. He said, until and unless you're willing to confront yourself and identify character flaws that cause you to repel people, he said, you're really going to struggle. You can write all the names you want on your candidate list, but you're not going to have access to them. You see, knowledge, that's what we know, and skill, that's what we know how to do. He said, you have done a pretty good job of learning. You know, you can recite it, you can spout it back to me. And he said, I will admit that I've seen you develop these skills, and you're quite skillful in many of these areas. But he said, Randy, your problem is one of character. Knowledge, that's what you know. Skill, that's what you know how to do. But character, that's who you are. And he said, candidly, Randy, I don't enjoy being in business with you, and I think that most others would not either. Your behaviors are inappropriate. And so at that point, in fact, let me take that back. I wish I could tell you that I learned so simply. It took me years after that to fully learn. But finally, one day, I addressed the problem, and the problem was me. And for the last long time, I've had this little acronym, Daily Disciplines Done Daily Build Character, DDDDBC. Daily disciplines done daily build character. And I have engaged upon a process for a long time where every day I address my spiritual well-being. Now, I encourage you here at this critical juncture in the development of your business, you've hit the wall. When your business hits the wall, I would suggest to you that that is a reflection of life. If your business has hit the wall, then there probably are other parts of your life experience. They're not the way you'd like them to be. And my own experience has shown that it is I that must change, not the circumstances. I must change first. The circumstances will not change in advance of me changing. That's my experience. Because that's my experience, I would rather anticipate yours would mirror it. The circumstance will not change until you do. My circumstances have never changed in advance of me changing. And so I have a series of disciplines that I act upon, and I act upon them daily. I'm very careful with this. I don't choose to impose my disciplines upon anyone else. I am, however, willing to share my disciplines with you. Daily disciplines done daily build character. My first series of disciplines is a spiritual discipline. I believe that we are spiritual beings, and I freely grant to each of you the opportunity to pursue that spiritual realm in your own way. And I don't have a desire to mold you into my way. But I will tell you quickly my 2 ways. I've stated a couple of times in the Getting Started and here in Staying Started that years ago I found myself literally unable to work with a health condition. That's a fancy way of saying that I had allowed alcoholism and drug addiction to grow to a place where my life was spinning desperately out of control. Completely, totally out of control was my life, being dominated by alcoholism and drug addiction. Today, I'm happy to say that that situation is arrested one day at a time. Because that situation is arrested, I no longer get arrested. It's a beautiful thing. But that situation is arrested, and the way that I deal with my spiritual well-being, my first discipline is I participate very, very actively in a recovery program. That's my first spiritual discipline. That recovery program is a spiritual pursuit, and I engage myself in that program in a variety of ways every day. The second component to my spiritual discipline is, again, I grant to you, I encourage you to have your understanding, your pursuit of the spiritual realm, whatever it is. As it works out, I am a Catholic, and I'm very, very eagerly engaged in my Catholic faith. I act upon that discipline daily, spiritually. Daily disciplines that I act upon daily, spiritually. Second is physically. My physical disciplines involve nutrition and exercise. I am careful and cautious about the way that I treat my body. Have I always been so? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But I have disciplines as it relates to my physical well-being. Exercise. I must exercise vigorously every day. Doesn't have to be for a long time, but it's got to be 30 minutes. It's got to be long enough that my heart goes bang, 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 that my head is cleared, completely cleared of all the racket that was in it as a result of the vigor of my exercise. That's what works for me. I'm not telling you you must do that. I'm telling you what I do in order for me to be at my best. And I'm very cautious with my nutrition choices. A big part of my nutrition life, by the way, is MonaVie. I have disciplines that I act upon daily, spiritually, physically, mentally. I had an interesting conversation with a counterpart at MonaVie today, and out of his mouth came so much negative. I couldn't believe it. I said, man, reframe your whole way of thinking. What have you been putting into your head in the last 24 hours to allow all of this negative to come out of your mouth in the last 5 minutes? I am very, very careful about what I let in. My observation is that what I see, what I listen to, what I read, what I watch, all of these things, all of these entries, they will find their way to my heart, and they will be evidenced in my behaviors. I made a decision some number of years ago that I will only learn on purpose. I believe that our society is full of people who have become inadvertently willing to learn by accident. You're learning by accident when you sit down and just take in whatever that TV set spits out at you. You're learning by accident whenever you just take in whatever the radio spits out at you. You're learning by accident whenever you take in whatever the external world is putting before us. I'm very, very selective about what I see, what I hear, what I listen to, what I watch. I'm very careful about with whom I associate. I consciously associate with people who are likely to make me more. I'm very aware that sometimes I need to associate with those who are struggling in life so that they can gain access to whatever it is that I have. I'm very cautious about associating with people who make me more, reading, watching, listening to that which makes me more. That's part of my mental discipline, spiritually, physically, mentally, and finally, emotionally. For me, if you haven't met me, I hope we one day meet, it will become immediately evident to you that I am just moving kind of fast. I walk a little too fast, I talk a little too fast, I eat a little too fast. It's all a bit too fast. But I have the discipline to stop a few times every day. I stop. I have some simple meditations I go through. If I fail to do that each day at specified times during the day for specified amounts of time, then that ping pong ball in my head will keep going back and forth and back and forth. I won't sleep well at night, and tomorrow I will not be the person that I want to be. But we have to grow belief. Grow belief in what? Grow belief in the network marketing industry. And I said we have to. No, you don't have to. It's a thing that I believe we'll need to do if you want to succeed. You don't have to do any of this stuff. The things that I do to live a successful life. I'm very simple-minded. I want to be more happy more of the time. That's it. I want to be more happy more of the time. I have found that by acting upon these simple disciplines, daily disciplines done daily build character, I have found that makes it possible for me to be more happy more of the time. I have confidence that should you adopt similar life choices, you'll be able to be more happy more of the time. And what does that have to do with step 5? Very easy to believe in our business, I think. When one studies it, very easy. I think it's easy to believe in our industry. Man, nothing could be easier than believing in our products. I think the real deal is believing in ourselves. Daily disciplines done daily build character. When we grow, that's when we have more belief in ourselves. And by the way, it's not where you are on the scale of growth, it is your direction of travel. If you are becoming more, that is extraordinarily attractive. And this is absolutely a business of attraction. When people see in you something they would like to have or be, that is when they seek to join you in this business, which may otherwise be relatively unattractive. Until they see in you something they want, they may not see the beauty that is the fundamental